pork tenderloin with braised turnips and Parmesan. Very simple. We have a pork loin, and the art of pork loin cooking is just to cut it the same size. So that's about 1.25 inches.
Oh, you're not doing it in the whole loin. You're going to cut it into steaks, medallions.
Faster.
This guy.
So we made a spice mixture. I've used some of my favorite spices. Some oregano, some garlic powder, which gets a bad rap also.
Love it. Tons of it.
And mustard powder and cumin, which I love.
I love mustard powder.
We're gonna get a pan on the fire, get it nice and heated up with some regular oil, not olive oil for this. And we're just gonna sprinkle on top of our pork loin. So we have our pan. I like to cook this in a sautoir. What is a sautoir? A sautoir is a French word for a pan with a straight side because we're gonna make a sauce after this with all the bits and stuff on the bottom, which are really the best part. Into the pan, as always, away from you.
Snizzle, I hear it.
Because we don't wanna really get anyone hurt in the cooking of pork. These are gonna take maybe 3 minutes aside. You want them medium rare, yes. 140 degrees, 145. All right, so I want you to take a look at this. This is really important for those of you who wanna learn how to cook. You see that? You wanna be able to have the pan hot enough so it doesn't stick. So there's nothing in here, there's no non-stick capability here. And I like to use this pan because non-stick, unless it's cast iron, doesn't have enough heft to it. And it's gonna cook the meat too fast before you get any color on it. So I'm just gonna show you the color you wanna look for, right there. You don't wanna go too brown. You don't wanna go too brown, people. You wanna go right there because you don't want the protein to create a chewy texture when you eat it. Because if you do that, if you wanna go even brown on this, I recommend you put flour on them. It'll protect the protein from getting tough. You know when you have a chicken that's skinless and you cook it too brown, that top part shreds, right?
Shoe leather.
It's shoe leather. All right, so we're gonna put this off to the side. Now you see what's happened here? I got a beautiful crust on it, about 3 minutes aside. It's beautiful pink inside.
Wow.
I'm gonna take this out, put it on a plate. You don't have to cover it because this is gonna take a very quick amount of time. So step one is done. And then we're gonna go over here, some chopped scallions, finely chopped scallions.
Finely chopped.
Finely chopped garlic. Then we're gonna add our turnips. So I've diced these. I've diced them to a particular size. It's a small, probably an 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch dice. Just make sure they're all the same size if possible. And the best way to do that is use a mandolin and then cut them in strips. You don't have to do it like, you know, the old-fashioned method by hand. Okay, we've gotten to the point where the smell has come, a little bit of color on the turnips, but not a lot. Then we're gonna add the magic, which is white wine, and it's gonna lift all the fond on the bottom. I love saying that word, and some chicken stock. Okay.
So the fond, meaning you're cooking those in the pan where you cook the pork, so you're lifting up all that beautiful pork flavor.
We are what we know, all of us know, we're developing flavor by layering and layering and layering. That's why nothing from this pork has gotten away. It's still down the bottom here, okay? We're gonna crank this up. In the meat, while that's simmering, I'm gonna go over here and take my turnip greens, which I know you love. Yes. And I'm not gonna waste these. I've taken the stems off, and I'm just gonna chiffonade, not all of them, just a few of them. And I'm gonna add them at the very end, just to ramp up that flavor and give another layer of the turnip to this lovely dish.
I love how, I think the turnip greens they're hearty, so that's why I like that you're cutting them you know, thinly, because otherwise they can get a little toothy.
Yeah,
but they are peppery and mustardy.
Peppery and mustardy, absolutely. What's happening here is the turnips are just about given up and they're almost cooked. You don't want them overly cooked. You want them al dente, right? The broth is reducing, bringing along the wine in the bottom of the pan, and the scallion and the garlic is just, that smell. So now what are we gonna do now? We're gonna turn it down just a bit because you don't want it too high. Okay, just like that. And we're gonna add some butter, not too much. Some of the greens, turnip greens.
And you also don't need herbs now because you use the turnip greens.
But I do have a little minced rosemary. Another secret I've been using all summer and fall, minced rosemary.
I like this last-minute, tiny chop dash of rosemary.
Little pops of flavor, a little nuance, a little something. What was that? Where, I didn't know. Well,
where'd it come from?
Exactly.
You know, you surprised the palate.
We're just gonna monte it like we're doing risotto. It's very low fire, and you just want the butter to heat. And at this point, we're gonna take the warm pork, and we're gonna put it right back in there. And any juices that might have come out on the pork will be on the plate. Just make sure you put them back into the sauce. This is such a great, simple meal.
Hearty.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Old winter months, too, right?
It's just so good. Okay, now there's another thing I've been doing a lot of also, is cheese where you don't think cheese should go. So cheese on pork, right?
What? What?
What?
Stop.
Yes.
Naughty
By the
boy.
way, I thought the butter on the pork was a stretch, and I noticed you slipped in a little French term there, monté,
Yeah.
and you swirled it, meaning you're just gonna add that butter in and you swirl it so it becomes part of the sauce and isn't separate and greasy on top. So hungry.
I know.
Okay.
Taking a nose bath from 6 feet.
Ha.
1 or 2 on top of that.
Look at that parm snowy on top. Very.
And just a little more of the juice. And this juice is, I want to get it on top of the pork, but not until the end. So look how just yummified we've made these turnips, right? So touch of salt on top, of course.
Ooh, look at
Maybe
this.
a little bit of,
Ooh, what is going on?
You always have to, he has to have his little flourishes at
He
the
does.
end.
He keeps going.
You just have to get
here
an
he
A
goes.
on the
There.
test.
some chives. And then
And 4 chicken
we
wings.
sign the paint.
No? Okay. Just keep adding.
Let's go in there. Look at how beautifully the turnips are cooked. They've changed color a little bit. They've gone almost like suntan brown.
A little
don't you
bit.
think?
That Tampa glow.
The turnip, the lonely turnip, it has that pop, the pepperiness, but not anymore. It has now, it's taken in all the flavor,
Slowly.
the mustard and the greens and the jus from the bottom of the pork.